Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 2. Just going to take a few minutes to go over the agenda for the week so that you know what lessons and assignments are in store for you. Go ahead and pull week 2 up. Obviously, the first thing you'll have to do is take the week 2 attendance quiz in order to access the lessons and assignments for this week. Keep in mind that the questions on the week 2 attendance quiz will come from the material that we covered during week 1. Once you have submitted that quiz, then you will have access to the lessons and some of the assignments. You'll see a brief review of week 1 underneath the attendance quiz, and then you will see several lessons. You can see here on the agenda, we've got 6 lessons this week. We are learning about all the components of an essay. So we're going to be learning about introductory paragraphs and thesis statements, which you'll learn if you don't know already, that a thesis statement is an element of your introductory paragraph. Then we're going to learn about body paragraphs, and I've broken that up into 3 separate lessons, just to sort of make it a little easier. So we've got one on point, one on support, and one on coherence. If you remember from last week, those are 3 of the 4 bases of writing. Remember, you want unity, support, and coherence. So unity is your point, right? So we're going to learn about those 3 elements of body paragraphs. So writing the main paragraphs of your essay. And then we will, of course, learn about concluding paragraphs as well. So each of those lessons has a video and a PowerPoint, and then a couple of them also have handouts that I provided links for and that I'll go over in the videos. And you can see the word required in all caps and in bold-faced type next to each of those lessons. So remember, that means that those lessons are a release condition for something. So you want to make sure that you are going through those lessons throughout the week. You might want to, as soon as you take the week 2 attendance quiz, take a look at all of the videos to see how long each of them is, so you can plan your time accordingly. This is a monster of a week. You remember last week, I had mentioned that, this course is kind of like a double whammy, where you are expected to achieve the objectives related to basic essay writing, but you are also expected to achieve the objectives related to writing research papers and using APA format, right? And that most students, if you're looking at both of those, the one that students tend to need more help with is learning how to properly write research papers and properly use APA format. So that is where we spend the most of our time in this course. So it is going to seem as though that first half of the objective is, it comes at you quick, full force. And this is the week. This is the week where we cover an essay from start to finish. So don't skip these lessons. Obviously, you can't skip them if you want to complete the assignment that goes with them, in terms of the release condition, but really just, for your own sake, making sure that you fully understand all of the components of an essay. So plan your time accordingly throughout the week. The assignments for week 2, you have the essay basics assignment. Now, a few things about this. There are some release conditions that go with this. Obviously, all of these required lessons here in week 2 are release conditions for this assignment. So you do have to go through each of them in order to access essay basics. The other item that is required, aside from the week 2 attendance quiz, of course, but the other big release condition for essay basics is project part 1. So if you are behind on the week 1 homework and you have not submitted project part 1 yet, you want to do that as soon as possible. Not only because it's you're picking your topic and getting started on the course project and you need my feedback on that, but also because you will not be able to access this week 2 assignment until you have submitted project part 1. So if you haven't done that, that would be my first order of business if I were you. Finish project part 1, so that is finished and out of the way. Then focus on the lessons here in week 2, and then you will be able to access the essay basics assignment. The next thing you need to realize about essay basics is that while it is technically in the assignments category, it is located in the quiz area. And the reason for that is it just makes it easier, a more streamlined way for you to view the questions, a more streamlined way to see which ones you possibly have gotten wrong, because you'll be given a chance to make corrections on that assignment once I've graded it. And being able to view your wrong answers on the quiz makes that process much easier. So I don't want you to freak out that it's a quiz. It is in the quiz format, but it is still just an assignment. You can take all the time you need on it. It'll say there's a 4-hour limit, but it's just an assignment. You know, you can take your time on it. You can work on it in stages as long as you're saving your progress. You can go back and look at the lessons to help you. It's not a true quiz, so please don't feel that kind of pressure with it. But it's a healthy assignment. There's a lot of components to it because it does cover all of those elements of essay writing that you're learning here in week 2. There'll be a video in the instructions at the top of the quiz. So once you start the quiz, you'll see a video up at the top before the questions begin. Make sure you watch that video and try to have that in by Sunday night. The other assignment for this week is, of course, the week 2 discussion. You can start on that at any time during the week you want, but do make sure that you have your first post up by Thursday night so that everyone has plenty of time and options to choose from to respond to 2 classmates by Sunday night. The week 2 discussion is technically due Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. It will remain open for an additional week during week 3, but if you're posting during week 3, it will only be for 50% credit. At the end of week 3, the week 2 discussion closes for good and you'll no longer have access to it. Okay. So again, big week. It really is a big week. There is a lot to go through to make sure that you are familiar with the basic components of an essay. The other good thing is that while it might seem very fast right now, and there's a lot being thrown at you here in week 2, once you start working on your research paper more, especially when you get to the rough draft, these lessons will always be here. Week 2 will always be available to you throughout the rest of the term. So you can come back to these lessons if needed, because I know it is a lot of information all at once. But do the best you can, and maybe the essay basics assignment, that quiz, will also help you sort of understand some of the essay components a little more. And again, don't be afraid to go back and look at the lessons while you're doing that assignment, because it is just an assignment. Okay. All right. So I know it's a lot. Do your best. If you have questions, if you run into any problems whatsoever, don't hesitate to reach out. Otherwise, you guys are free to go ahead and get started.